I'm going to have a bunch of family going to the game, and I'll have my son there flying in for Thanksgiving, so it'll be cool.
When you guys are not, so much of the staff, so many members of the staff have Pennsylvania ties. When you're not in a week like this where you're playing Penn State, is there an awareness of what's happening there just because of the the ties that guys up there have with Penn State and not just Penn State but sports in general? And
As far as what's going on, meaning like the coaching change? I would say that it's really no different than any other scenario. Yes, I'm from there, but like I've also coached at a lot of places. So the experience to go back there and coach there is awesome. And to be around some family and friends, and I even have some friends of mine I grew up with that played at Penn State that still live up there, so I'll see them. But as far as what's going on with them and their program, we're so locked in on all the things that go on with our program and how we're trying to make sure we're playing as well as we can on defense on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. But I'm sure things will work out.
Do you remember the Nebraska game that year in 2013?
In 2013, I remember it was a close game. I think we lost, meaning we as not Nebraska, but the team I was coaching. But not a whole lot of memories about that in terms of, I remember then coming here the next year, I believe, or maybe it was the year before, I'm not sure, maybe it was 2012. Both of those games were tight games, and there was a play in the end zone, I think, here that I remember that because I think they got the call wrong. But yeah, it should have been a touchdown, and we should have won that game. But anyway.
How have you seen their offense adjust with the QB injury mid-season and just where they're at now with the young guy?
Yeah, when you look at their offense, the strength of what they do is they have a great offensive line. They have two great backs, big physical tight ends, and a mentality of that region and that program to run the football. So it's going to be a great challenge for us, an opportunity. I know that one of the number 13 has a chance to break the record up there, and we've got to do everything we can to make sure he does it against another team. But they're gonna run the football. You can see that the identity of what they've been doing of late is establish the run, control the game, be a physical team, and we've got to match that with how we prepare day to day. And then we go up there, we have to understand that's the type of game it's going to be.
Mentality of that region, is that a weather discussion or what?
Maybe it's just you're growing up on the East Coast, you don't see a whole lot of sun. The thing I love about Nebraska, and we've got a great office complex there. You get up every morning and sun's out over the practice field, and even though it may be cold, it's when you can see the sun, your demeanor's a little different. So maybe that's why I was so grumpy growing up, is I didn't see the sun for months. And maybe the 6 years in Buffalo, I never saw it for 6 months. But
it seemed like Keona Davis had one of his better games against UCLA. Had you seen him kind of building to that?
Definitely. He is really progressing. Even out there in the practice field today, I mentioned to him how the activity level that he's playing with, kind of the level of havoc he's creating. We've really emphasized that the last kind of 6 to 8 weeks is players that are creating havoc and being difficult to block. And he's definitely become one of those guys, not only in the practice field, and I think it's starting to show up in games. And once it starts to show up in games, you get a little more confidence, and your production kind of continues to increase. Especially, he's only a sophomore; he's a young player. So
what jumps out about their quarterback, Grunkmeyer? And he's had to step in, obviously, kind of what's going on here, a young guy stepping in for a veteran quarterback.
What I see, a guy has a big, strong arm. When you look at the last couple games, and really specifically the Indiana game, Indiana's a very good defense, as you guys know, that does a good job stopping the run and the pass. And he's ripping 25-yard in cuts, and he's ripping sail routes on the sideline. So he, when the coverage is what he thinks it is, he can make the throws, and he steps up in the pocket, and he's making those intermediate throws that I think I talked about a couple weeks ago. That's really the challenge for a quarterback, is you can throw it short, you can throw it deep. But if you can make those intermediate throws, and he's doing that. And then if you look at the Michigan State game, having the savvy and the competitiveness in critical situations on those last two drives of running the ball and extending the drives and, making the winning plays. So, that combined with their run game and their physicality, I think we've got to be prepared for.
What did you see from Dylan Rogers and him making that first start out there at UCLA?
Yeah, I think Dylan's really played well in the last two ball games. We were excited by, what he did in USC. Like he embodies what we talk about and what Matt talks about, a culture of physicality and, just being tough, contact-based player that, he went out there for maybe 12, 15 plays in USC and had 5 or 6 production plays. Then went out there last week and played physical. He rushed the passer well. sometimes these guys just need an opportunity. And sometimes as coaches, we have to understand that the guys that, really buy into the process and that are physical and that love football and love their teammates. And sometimes all you got to do is throw them out there, and when we've played them the last couple games, I haven't even noticed a drop off or even thought about it. And I've even told Phil Simpson that, we need to play him because he represents what we want to be all about. And he'll put his face on you. He'll be physical with you. And I'm excited about what he's brought to the table in the last 2 weeks.
He's been a good special teams guy too. How much do you track what guys are doing on that unit and how it can translate to your side?
I personally don't. I've got enough that I got to deal with, but I do have conversations with Coach Eck about who's playing well and who's playing physical and who's playing with good contact, and his name as well as some of those others like Jeremiah Charles' names come up a bunch. That's going to prepare him because anytime you're playing in a game in any aspect, special teams will help you then play on either offense or defense because you're building that confidence and you're building that kind of rep count. And then when you have success doing that, it's a lot easier then to have some success on your defensive, offensive, side of the ball. So that's the general progression. Not everybody's going to be that guy, that just comes in as a freshman and just is the starter from day one. You're going to have to earn your keep and earn your way on the field with a good team and a good defense. And usually that's through special teams. And the ability to operate in that area.
How do you felt about the tackling? I mean, was that something you guys worked a little bit more on with some time during the bye week?
No, I think we've worked. I feel like it's continued to come along. We work on it every single day to the point of it's the same drills, the same contact emphasis, tackling in space. One of the things we got to keep working is, and we're doing it in practice actually probably more than anybody, is we're tackling quarterbacks. Usually the quarterback's off limits. But we're tackling quarterbacks here because that's continued to be an issue that you have to keep working, especially athletic ones like Nico or athletic ones like the ones we've seen at Cincinnati and Michigan and Michigan State. But, we're just going to continue to work on that and keep developing that.
John, when Matt was here yesterday, he was talking about the run defense and saying what a great opportunity for guys to conquer things that have bothered them.
Right.
What have you seen Matt say in terms of this kind of no excuses mindset, and how have you communicated that to your group?
Yeah, he's talked to the team and talked to the coaches. You got to find a way or make a way. That's ultimately what this is. It's a great challenge for us. We're a good football team and a good defense. There's a lot of things that it's low-hanging fruit right now to say that we're struggling to stop the run, but we're one of the best pass defenses in the country. One of the best teams of not letting people in the red zone. We don't give up explosive plays. There's a lot of things that we're doing. We haven't given up a 400-yard rusher. We haven't let a team score on us in the first drive of the game. So there's some things that we're doing well, but obviously in a game like this, we know and understand that it's going to come down to our players embracing that they're going to try to run the football, and we have to stop the run. And that means by any means necessary. If that means me going out there as the 12th guy to make the tackle, I'll do that. But, that's just what it's going to take. That's how we're preparing. We understand the challenge ahead, but this is November football, man. This is what you live for. If you're playing at this level, you want to play in a game like this that, hey, they know they're going to run it. We know they're going to run it, and it's like the good old days of high school football when you got to stop the run.
What kind of potential stress does that put on your corners and safeties if they're going to find themselves in a lot of man-to-man?
Yeah, whether it's man or zone, the math of football is they have 11 people, we have 11, and we're only able to get one more in the box than they can block, and that player has to make the tackle or somebody else has to get off a block. Or you play shell coverage and then you take the pressure off your secondary, but then you put the pressure on your front, which we have not done a lot of. So our corners understand the challenge that's there. We understand that we're going to have to do some things that, based on our current situation, to really stop the run and commit to stopping the run. And we're going to do that, and look forward to it.
Thanks.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Questions?
Having had some time to kind of reflect on it, how'd you feel like the week of preparation went for TJ going out to UCLA, and how'd you feel like you played?
It's that bye week thing again, right? God, I moved on from that game about 10 days ago. No, I was obviously happy with, how he handled everything. Thought he played, really good first time out, which we expected him to. I mean, there's a lot of confidence, in the coaches with him. We talked about that, and then he went out there and proved it. I think the coolest thing that, him handling going back home was awesome. Okay, now that was his element too. The weather and Southern Cal is kind of his element right there, and he felt good in pregame, and we even kind of kidded around about that, just as far as, the ball was kind of sticky, and he was spinning it pretty good, and he played well. From an offense, it was probably our most efficient game. If you just look at all the stuff that matters that we always talk about, I mean, those numbers were pretty good, from yards per play to critical downs to red zone touchdowns, just all that stuff that it takes to win games. So he was fired up though. I mean, he right before his first drive, he came to me. He goes, I got you, and I got this, coach. He goes, just call it like you normally would, and I did. I called it like I normally would, and he went out there and executed at a very high level. So I think he got confidence from that. I think the team got confidence in it. I think, Coach Rule did an amazing job of getting the guys to understand what it takes when you're playing a freshman quarterback, first start. Everybody needs to elevate their game, and that's what I saw. I mean, I saw a bunch of guys that elevated their game, and hopefully that can carry on into this week. Probably needed a bye week at that point, although you got some momentum. We kind of needed that. So I think we'll be ready to go play. The guys are fired up about practicing out there today. And, this is a different animal, a different element, different elements, different football team, different environment, so everything's going to be different. So, I'm looking forward to see how we play. We're gonna have to play up. I mean, this is a good football team that we're playing. I don't care what their record is. None of that matters. The only thing when you put the tape on and you watch it, they're playing really well. So, probably their best two games have been the last couple of games here. So, be a big challenge for us.
How do you kind of get TJ ready for that kind of an atmosphere? I mean, UCLA was one thing, but this is going to Penn State night game. I mean, do you do anything different? Or
No. The only thing I can compare it to is here, against USC. I mean, people come here so they can play in these types of games, to play in these types of environments. I'm excited about it. I've never been there. I mean, when I was, at West Virginia, there was history there in those that they had played in the past, and due to conference realignments and everything, that it was gone. But it was kind of the initiative of our administration to get some of those old rivalries back, with Pitt and with Penn State. And so there's a lot of crossover and a lot of familiarity with them. But no, I've never been there. But we got plenty of people on the staff that have, and I've heard a lot about it. But I think TJ's gonna be fired up, ready to go, man. I mean, you come to Nebraska to play in these games. And so these are the kind of games that you look forward to. I was just talking with Dylan out there at practice, and it's killing him. He's once again in the meetings, taking notes. Great sounding board. But one of the things he said to me out there was, man, this was a game that I was really looking forward to. So people come here to play in types of games like these.
Coach, what's your familiarity with Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator? Have you come across him, and how will he challenge TJ with different looks and pressures in this game?
Yeah, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Houston. There's some games that we crossed over, and so I've known him I don't know him personally, but known him for a long time. Very multiple with what they're doing. He was a big stack guy, the whole player at Oklahoma State, and he's still doing some of that, obviously, but they're a little bit more aggressive with it now. They're pressuring more. They're they're blitzing more. They're not just sitting back in that two-hole stuff, and so he's doing a lot of stuff, and so there's familiarity, but the only thing I can take is what the last 4 games are and, what they've kind of settled into, which is a high pressure, aggressive type defense, and so does a fantastic job with really good players, a lot of really good players out there that are kind of getting their groove back right now.
Matt mentioned your wide receivers when they're blocking. He said they're actually hunting guys in some cases, like Hunter on the long Emmett Johnson touchdown. What have you seen just out of that group and their downfield work?
Yeah, I'm really proud of how they're playing, man. They had a lot of juice out there today. They just kind of settled into kind of that's what they're known for right now. When the ball comes their way, they're excited about it. Each of them had 3 or 4 touches last game, which was good. Spreading the ball around. They all know that the ball is gonna find them if they just get out there and play hard. But one of the things that they can do to help the team when the ball is not coming to them is how they're blocking. It's as impressive of a blocking receiver core as I've seen, as I've seen. So, credit to DeKeel Shorts and those guys for embracing what's going on right now and doing anything that they can to help the team.
You, Emmett had his big game against UCLA, and then the Heisman campaign really kind of took off. What's your opinion on how he stacks up against some of the best players in college football?
Well, my opinion can't really change from what I've stood up here and said, right? So I've been tooting that horn for a while. The one thing that I didn't know is if he could handle 30 touches a game. I don't think any of us knew that, and we were concerned with the number of snaps and the number of touches early. We had that conversation with game 1 too much and then game 4 too much. Well, is it? Because that's, it doesn't look like it is to me. The dude just keeps getting stronger, and whatever, we need to do to get the ball to him. 1, we're going to do that, but 2, he can handle that, and so it's pretty cool to see a young man that's worked so hard that is getting the credit that he deserves. Just look at the numbers. The numbers are as good as anybody in the country, and what I see is a motivated guy that practices hard and has a great attitude. Had a great practice out there today and is looking forward for another opportunity to go play the game he loves. And so, just really proud of him and where he's at and what he's doing.
How have you seen him remain focused when the conversation outside of off the field has been what it has been the last couple of weeks?
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to that. It's always about the next game for me and preparing these guys to go, to go play. And that's what practice is about. We had, we needed some time off, even him last week, we didn't let him practice on Tuesday, and Wednesday he got out there and he was 100% full speed, but I'm sure his body appreciated some time off. He doesn't complain about anything. He does a great job in recovery and getting ready for the next one, and he's going to be fired up about going and playing a good quality opponent. I know that.
And what have Mosey and Mekhi Nelson shown you behind the scenes?
Yeah, they're getting better every week. They're getting better every week. It's just when you got that bell cow out there, we're going to keep feeding them. And I always do the same thing. I look at it, and if I feel like he's, a little banged up, or if I feel like he's a step slow, or he's, out there, breathing hard or whatever it is, I just haven't seen that, and so you guys know at this point we're going to ride him as long as we can. But those guys have really done a good job of with their preparation and their practice. They're ready if needed, when needed.
You guys have had quite a bit of success in the first drives of games. How do you choose to approach initial drives? Do you use a script? Do you go by feel? How does that work?
A little both. We got situations play a part in that, but we got like everybody else, the top 10, 12, 15 plays or whatever it is that we feel good about, that's looked good throughout the week. I don't pick those until after Thursday's practice. We practice them Tuesday, practice them Wednesday, hone in on some things on Thursday, but really study that Thursday tape. And then we, as a coaching staff, make a decision of what we feel like those top plays are, and then what the top plays are in the situational stuff too, And so I just think the guys, they kind of know what's going to get called, in what situations are going to get called. That gives them comfort. I talked a lot about that with Dylan and stuff when I got here, as far as, being in that quarterback room and hearing, I'm not in there coaching them. That's Glenn's job, but I'm in there, and I'm for simply for support of, like, these plays are going to get called in these times. Okay. And so I think they just have a comfort level for what's going to get called. There's not a whole lot of surprises, but then there is a feel aspect to it too, as well, to where, if some things are going good here but not going good there, I kind of do things that are going good, and that's the flow of that, I think, has been good. But yeah, we've been starting fast, but I think everybody tries to.
On that 3rd and goal, it probably took some trust to call a throw there. Did your heart go in your throat there when that ball went on I mean, he threw a really good pass to Barney, but it was a tight situation over there on the sideline.
Just all stuff we've practiced, and so if we've practiced it and it looks good, I don't flinch. We just call it. I mean, that's worked in practice, and so I felt like I was going to work there. I mean, there's a couple of plays that I called on that 4-minute drive, which we executed pretty dang good too. Our 7th drive of the game, which, get used to those games. I mean, the next 2 games are going to be like that too, where they're low possession games. We're going to try to do that too. We're going to try to control the ball, and I think we've done a decent job of that this year. But on that 4-minute drive, I was just calling plays, and you got to have the trust in him to make the decisions on some RPO stuff or some nakeds and boots to keep the thing in play, and some people don't think that's a good idea. I do, and I trust him, and he knows that. And I think TJ mentioned it after the game, where he's just playing ball. Don't think about it, just play ball. Whatever the play call is, just execute it. And he did.
Where have you seen Luke just grow the most throughout this season, and how important will the tight ends be this week?
Yeah, they're very important. Anytime you have dangerous edge guys, and they got a bunch of them, you're going to need some help with some tight ends. And so, he's done a really good job just being consistent throughout the course of the year. You guys know how I feel about Luke too. Just he's an all-around good football player, So, and he's very unselfish. Whatever we ask him to do, I think that where he's improved the most is just physicality in the run game, physicality from a blocking perspective, just doing things that tight ends need to do. I mean, he loves it, and he takes great pride in that. Heinrich keeps getting better. He's still old ex-quarterback that's trying to figure out the position, and then Carter Nelson's really done a good job here in the last probably month, and so he's starting to get a few more snaps as well, which is good for his future. Thank you.
Penn State's defense faced them last year.
Yeah, I mean, they want to rush the passers. They're talented guys up front. That's the strength of their defense, the strength of their team. They're good players. I mean, a few guys are going to get drafted, this upcoming draft. You got to respect them. We just got to stick to our game plan.
What type of game gets you excited as an offensive lineman when you're going up against, like Coach Rule called, a ferocious pass rush?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the games that you dreamed of playing in, Happy Valley, and, hopefully, a loud crowd. I mean, I assume I don't know if it's going to be a whiteout or not, but it's a late night game, against a great defensive line, something I've always dreamed of as a kid.
How is the recovery on your hand coming? I mean, the extra week off probably helped a little bit, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it definitely helped a lot. Just rehabbed a lot and, didn't take as many reps, throughout the week. More of a young guys type of week. A lot more coaching on my end. But it feels good, ready to go. I know the guys are feeling pretty good going these last, 2-week sprint.
Was named a semifinalist for the Running Back of the Year award. Just how much pride do you guys take as an offensive line and what he's been able to do this season?
Yeah, we're all proud of Emmett. I mean, he's done an incredible job. Hopefully he wins that thing. But for us, it's just day in, day out. Grab your lunch pals and go to work, and he gets the credit, and we get a couple pancake blocks, and we're happy with it.
Rocco, what do you remember about the Penn State game last year in the playoff?
Yeah, there's a lot of energy. It's going to be loud. Defense is going to give you a bunch of different looks, maybe on second and third down. Usually after an explosive, they'll try to, heat you up with some blitzes. But, they play hard. They're running the ball. It's going to be a full 60-minute game.
Hey, Rocco, what did you think of TJ's first start and for a freshman to be able to handle it like he did at UCLA?
Yeah, he was calm, cool, collected. He showed poise. After that first play of him keeping it, I was like, all right, we're good. He's fine. I'm proud of him, and, he did a hell of a job, and, expect great things from him the rest of the way.
You might have talked about it after the game, but how much pride you take on like that play where you're downfield, 30 yards on the Emmett touchdown there.
Yeah, just something, we practice and, our preparation, and, it starts on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and, getting those blocks in all week, and then finally to let it come to life, in the game is kind of our kickback, but it's just, taking the preparation, to Saturday.
Blocking at one of the highest levels he's seen from a group like that. What's the film show you about how they're doing it too?
Yeah, excuse my language, but they're blocking their asses off. They're incredible guys. That's to see a wide receiver, do that to DBs and linebackers and even defensive ends. That's something special. You can't really coach that. That's just guys willing to do it for the guy next to you.
Hey, Rocco, Coach has mentioned a couple times his appreciation for Teddy Prohaska hanging around, after he got hurt. What's your perspective on that, and maybe what you've noticed from him, not just since the injury, but even before that?
Teddy just loves Nebraska football. That's who he is. I've said it before. He knows everything about this place, a coach, player, guys dating back to the 40s. He can name it. It just shows the character of who he is, even, from the life beyond football. That's, who he is and, how he's raised, and, that's just the leadership, that he has, and, that's kind of, the guys we want in our O-line room.
How has he helped you since you've been here?
He's helped tremendously. He's helped me, get around. First couple of days here, I didn't know what was like a one-way on O Street, and I was kind of going the wrong way. So he's helped me in that off-the-field stuff. But no, just really just adapting to this place, and believing, and what's the process here, and where this program was at, where it has been, and where it's going. So he's done an incredible job. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
What do you think of the campaign that's been put out for your candidacy for Heisman and other awards?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a blessing. They've been doing a great job of just pushing, me out there. But it's not just me. Like I said, there's a lot of people that play a part in that. My teammates that have helped me get to that point. So it's been amazing. It's been pretty fun.
Did they talk to you a little bit about how it was going to come about, or did they just say, "Here's what we had"?
Yeah, they told me a little bit about it, but they kind of just took it to another level, and they've just been doing a great job. Steven, a lot of guys, like I said, you guys don't really know them, but they do a lot of work behind the scenes to put that out.
Emmett, these next 2 weeks, how big of a load are you ready and willing to take on?
Yeah, I'm just taking it, just like any other game, approaching it like any other game, focusing just on Penn State this week, taking it day by day, not looking too far ahead, and just getting better each and every day. But I'm going to spend a lot of time on recovering my body and getting ready with Mitch, things like that, just so I'm ready for the game.
What has been the reaction from fans and your fellow students seeing you around campus last couple weeks?
Yeah, there's been a lot of positivity, but I just want to stay focused, stay humble, just stay focused on what I got to do, and that's help this team win, not make it all about me.
How hard has it been to stay focused when there is such a big spotlight on you right now?
Yeah, it's hard, but just approaching it. I remember when I wasn't, in the spotlight or wasn't getting the love. So those are things that just keep me motivated to stay hungry.
Talk
Yep.
after the game about, what you saw from TJ, but just like in these last 2 weeks, from his preparation, what stands out about him?
Yeah, just him being willing to learn. I think that's the biggest thing about TJ. He's out there constantly after every play watching to see if he made a mistake, see what he can be better on. And so I think the ceiling's high for him because he comes in every single day and he wants to get better. That's what makes him great.
See about Penn State's defense and the challenge they present.
Yeah, they're pretty solid on defense. We got a pretty good game plan, so I'm just really confident in our guys.
The exposure that you've received over the last couple of weeks probably also opens some doors for Nebraska in the future, and Coach has talked about that, the recruiting impact, and just what it can mean for the reputation of Nebraska to have an awards candidate. How much does that stuff matter to you?
Yeah, it matters a lot because Nebraska's a special place, and I want to be able to have recruits, whether it be recruits or people, look at this place and know it's a special place and it's a special family. So I'm blessed to be the one doing that and helping. But like I said, it's a special place, a lot of great people here. So it's bigger than just football. A lot of great humans here, and so that's what I want to help push to other people.
When you look kind of at yourself, I mean, did you think a season like this was possible? I mean, when you look back to training camp, would you have thought week 11 that you would be getting a Heisman push?
Yeah, I've always been confident, but this just comes with preparation and just working hard. I feel like once God has a plan for you, you just gotta keep believing in Him, and then everything that He wants you to do will happen. So I'm just not really. I wasn't really just focused on the individual things, but just getting better every day, and then that's what's led to my success. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Morning.
Elijah, you guys have seen a lot of good running attacks this year. What will this Penn State, how will they challenge you maybe different than some of the ones you've seen this year?
Yeah, they got two good running backs. That's really the difference that we've seen this year. Two really good running backs that we have to stop and keep a close eye on and protect the perimeter. So that's what we've been locked on this week.
Elijah, what are the emotions like for you getting a chance to go back to your home state and you know, what were your memories growing up, if any, of the brand of Penn State?
I'd be lying if I say it wasn't high. You know, I'm really excited to be able to go back home. I got a lot of family that's there, that's coming out. You know, and it's just, you know, it's a hometown. It's like a homecoming game for me. So I mean, it's big for me and for my family as well.
How many ticket requests do you have?
That's a good question. So far right now, I think 15, around 15, but I do need more. So we'll figure it out as time goes by.
When you were coming out of high school and went to A&M initially, where it was Penn State an option for you too at that time? Or?
Yeah, they were an option. They were an option when I left too, but I felt as though I would be better here, and that's obvious that I made the right choice to come here.
How would you describe the atmosphere there? You guys are playing there at a night game. How would you?
I was telling the guys like it's gonna be intense atmosphere, but we just can't let the crowd get in our head. We just gotta stay focused on what the main goal is. Rely on each other, fall back on each other, and just get what we got to do done. Take everything one play at a time.
How do you feel this D-line's been tracking throughout the season? Because obviously you're an older guy, but there's a lot of younger guys around you. Just what's your thoughts on the growth you've seen?
Yeah, I think every week we're getting better, honestly. Like when we come into practice, there's attention to detail. Every guy has that one thing they want to get better on, and they're doing that during practice, and it's showing up in game.
You had a good game against UCLA, Keona too. With Keona, what have you seen out of him just lately?
Yeah, I'm proud of Keona. Keona been putting in a lot of work. I talked to him like personally. He told me like his goals and stuff, and I told him like when an opportunity shows itself, he got to attack it, and then when it has on his head, he got to make the play, and he did exactly that on Saturday, and so I'm really proud of him.
What does it take mentally? What kind of a mindset does it require when you know what their backfield looks like and what it's going to take to try to stop them?
It's just a killer mindset. That's all. We got to get off. We got to live in the backfield. Make it hard for them to be able to run. Make them cut it back inside and let everybody that's inside make plays. We just got to protect the perimeter and just attack them.
Elijah, what's the is there a camaraderie among the Pennsylvania people around here, the staff members and a few players that there are from that state, and do you guys share something in common throughout the year and just knowing that where that you have similar roots to some others?
Yeah, I mean we talk about it all the time. I mean, a joke about it, but it's not really like much as like I can't explain it, but we do share some stuff in common. We do make jokes about how like basketball, PA is a basketball state and stuff. So I mean, yeah, a little bit.
Elijah, how motivated is this team just to finish out strong, improve your bowl spot, and just some of the things that are in play these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, right now we're not even really like focused on a bowl game. We're just focused on getting a lot more than 6 wins. That's our goal. We got the 6 win. As you can see, like we wasn't really too happy about it. I mean, we're happy about it, but we weren't like pushing it to where it was like last year. We got the 6 win, we got the bowl game, first bowl game in a while. But now we're just trying to make a statement that we're better than 6 wins.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you're looking to the next thing, but how good did that feel, Dylan, to put in that work and have a game like UCLA where you're out there like you were?
It was I prepared all off season, all summer, all fall camp. So when my time was I was ready for it. Especially when Deshaun went down, coaches told me you're probably gonna get a lot of reps this game. I already had some reps for the USC game, so I was just ready. I prepared all week, all all season, so I was ready for it.
Coach Rule said he appreciates you, him, an old school kid who just stays with the process. And where's that kind of come from in your background, I guess, have that mindset?
It's just been like my parents. They've always taught me my whole life. Nothing's gonna be given to you. You have to go take it. So, I never gave up on myself. I just kept working, and when my time came, I was ready for it.
What does it mean to have that level of confidence from the coaching staff that they saw that growth and trusted you to go out there?
It was just putting in the work like I said, all season, all off season as well. I was just ready for it. Watching film, studying my plays, meeting with coaches like Coach Phil, asking Deshaun. He's like an older guy, so I look at him like a big bro. So asking him personal questions because he has more experience in the game than I do. So just ask him a lot of questions, Coach Phil as well. So yeah.
Dylan, what have you felt about within the defensive room this week, getting ready for a rushing attack that Penn State's going to come at you guys, try to run the ball? What's the mindset of this defense?
Just go attack. Just play our game. Don't play to their level. Play at our level. So I know we're ready. We had a great practice today. We're gonna build up for tomorrow. Have another great practice and just take it day by day, rep by rep. So yeah.
What do you see in the film of Penn State's rushing attack and their running backs in particular?
They have two great running backs. They like to run the ball a lot, so we just got to play our game. Stop the run.
Anything else, Bill?
How much did your special teams work build confidence, in what you could do on defense, or did it?
It did, just having that in-game experience. So I started off the season only on special teams, and then when it was about time to play on defense, I already had that confidence to go out there and just play fast, play one rep at a time, and just have fun.
How much pride do you see guys taking on that unit, Eckler's guys, hey, we can impact the game and change things?
Coach A is a great coach. He instilled, when he came in with a lot of energy. So I feel like you need a lot of energy, with kids. So he came in with a lot of energy, and we took on that energy and just play every rep on special teams. Because special teams is just as important as defense and offense. So yeah.
Dylan, you're a part of that first recruiting class for Coach Rule. What's it been like to go through this entire process with him? From getting here and then last year making a bowl game, and this year sitting at 7-3 with 2 weeks left.
It's been a great experience. Like you said, coming in his first recruiting class, I came in and took it a day at a time, trust the process, doing everything correctly, and time is now. So yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Dylan.
and then we'll have Sierra coming shortly, and that'll be wrapping up for today.
Questions?
How'd the bye week treat you? What were you able to do?
It was great. I was able to hang out with my fiance, which was awesome. Able to get my body back. Only had one practice last week, so able to just get my body back and really work on fundamental stuff last week just to regain that. It's good to do that in the middle of the year.
When it comes at this point in the year, is it more of a mental refresher or physical refresher? Is there one that
It's
kind of
both.
more?
Like you just get so tied into the season, like you kind of lose that outside life, and your body is just beating. Like my legs were just feeling terrible, but after this week, at Sunday practice, I felt like I was flying around. So it's been a great week.
You guys have seen some good defenses, Michigan particularly, that had athletic edge and pass rush type guys. Would you say Penn State's a similar type of defense, how they might challenge you guys with some of their athletic ability?
Everybody in the Big Ten, everybody's so talented, like from the top to bottom of the Big Ten. And that's why you play in a conference like this to be challenged like that. Penn State's definitely one of those teams. Like their record doesn't really show how talented they are, and they're a good team. So it's going to be a great chance to get better.
Luke, you just practiced once last week, or the starting group only had one day? Were there some reserve days of practice, or how was it structured?
I forgot, but all I know is I had a day off.
What about Sierra? I mean, just how impressive was his debut, and what are your expectations? Not Sierra, TJ. Sorry, TJ.
Sierra's pretty good too.
Sierra's pretty good too. But TJ, how impressive was his debut for you guys?
It was awesome. Kind of felt that like nervous, but also energy from him. We all just instilled belief in him, and he absorbed it, and you just saw it shine on the field. And now he's going to take another step this week. It's crazy. Like his first 2 starts are going to be away games. So, and we're going to Penn State, and it's going to be loud. So it's going to be awesome for just us to rally behind him and instill that extra belief in him again.
Aside from just feeling refreshed coming out of the bye week, where do you see this team's mindset right now with 2 games left?
Win this first one. It's gonna be a physical one, and it's got to be the better team. And like we're sprinting through the finish line. Like whatever we put on tape now is gonna affect every person's individual football career after this, whether they want to go to the NFL or they're gonna come back and play here. I mean, we got to sprint through the finish. And Coach talked about the silent tape, like how we play, like no music, no announcers, just how does this look on tape? Like how hard do you play?
This will be your 4th road night game. What's the routine like now? You guys getting this down, kind of hanging out all day, waiting to play a football game?
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it. Able to get like a extra little nap in, but it sucks coming back. You don't get back in until like late in the a.m. and then you got to wake up early for church and you're all groggy. Then you got practice, but it all feels better with a win.
Where did that UCLA win rank for you just in personal, like the team's enjoyment of like rallying around TJ and going out to the Rose Bowl and all that? Where did that rank in your personal experience?
Dude, that was amazing. The Rose Bowl was beautiful. I love nature. I love beauty. Yeah, every part of that game was amazing. The grass on the Rose Bowl was great. The only thing that wasn't great was, coming back at 5 a.m. But just being able to get that win together after they came to our place last year and beat us, and just it's a good feeling.
Do you guys actually sleep on those flights, or is it hard to when you win and everyone's in a good mood?
It's so hard to. The adrenaline's still up, but I somehow found a way. So thank God for that.
Jalen Gramstad hasn't played this year, but what's his value for this team, and what does he bring to the squad?
Jalen Gramstad's my best man, so that tells you anything about him. That's my guy. He moved into my house, and yeah, he's like my best friend, my best pal. Like we hoop together. Like me and him are probably 2 of the best basketball players on the team. You can write that one down. And yeah, he's just someone that I'm gonna call like a best friend for life. Everybody on the team loves him. Like he talks to everybody. He asks how you're doing. He daps you up in the hallway. He brings so much energy. Everybody loves him. And I mean, I couldn't see a Nebraska football team without Jalen Gramstad, 'cause he's amazing.
What makes him such a good friend?
He cares. he's willing to go out of his way to like hang out with you. He goes to Bible study all the time, and we talk about servant leadership, and he definitely puts others' needs in front of his own, and it's hard to find that nowadays.
Who's the best basketball player on the team?
I'm gonna say me. I'm gonna be confident. I'm gonna say me.
Luke, what's it been like for this locker room to see what the last 2 weeks have been like for Emmett and the attention that he's gotten?
It's been amazing for him to get that, because I remember freshman year, like he'd just be saying, we were in the door, it's like, if they just give me a chance, man, I'm gonna go crazy. And I mean, he's been going crazy. That's what we call him, eat crazy sometimes. And he's also in the house too, and just being able to be a part of his growth and seeing it all come to fruition, and then him giving like all the glory is to God, like just allowing him to be in that position. It's been amazing, and all the accolades, he deserves it all. And I hope we're invited to New York with him when he's a Heisman finalist.
Anything else for Luke?
You got a big house?
Yeah, we got 6 guys. We got a big house. Yeah. And then the memory verse, I did the memory verse last time. The memory verse this week, Hebrews 12:2, where we're going to run the race of endurance, looking to Jesus, the founder, perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, dismissing shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Thank you, guys.